Alright guys, what do you see in front of you? Okay, my newly bought Honda Elite 110. This scooter is only made in year 20 or only released in year 2010 here in the United States, right after the rain, and today is the first time I'm actually riding this to a place that's a little bit further away besides just messing it around the town and just riding to my local course to do running and exercising stuff. Okay, so the scooter has had some issues during the first week or so that I've owned it. I've pretty much fixed all the issues, so I'm gonna talk about those issues during my riding. And also today is the first day I got my DJI Action 5 back because the Action 5's battery door was damaged for no apparent reason, and DJI charged me over $85 to fix this, which is crazy. Okay, it's their fault. I don't know why I'm paying for it, but it is what it is. All right. So the first thing I need to warn you guys is that the scooter's tire had a puncture. There was a big nail in the tire. Okay, so I had to fix it with some slime tube sealant as well as a rubber tire plug. Those two things has made the scooter rideable again. I also ordered new tires, so they're coming rather soon, but let's start the ride. And today I'm actually going to a test center to do a certification exam for my field of specialty. Okay, and hopefully it is fun. I putting lithium battery in here, so it should perform nice, and it's a lot lighter compared to the original battery. Okay. And again, this scooter, the last 70 miles that I've rode it, it's such a joy. Starts right up, super easy to ride. And yeah, I have absolutely no complaint about this scooter. So, weather's nice, except the humidity, which is about 95% here in Miami. Okay, crazy humidity. But once you get going here, this is beginning of the fall, I would say, end of September. It gets still pretty comfortable. What this scooter is designed for, exactly what you are seeing here. The local streets that, you know, there's no crazy cars going around like accelerating like a dumbass. This is what this scooter is designed for. Local streets and city and urban riding environments. The maximum speed as I tested for this scooter, okay, is with premium number 93 gas, is about 52 to 53 miles per hour. And that's the maximum speed with 1 up. But with 2 up, my wife also rode on the scooter. Okay, with 2 up, it's still pretty impressive. It gets around 48 miles per hour. So, in terms of speed, it's enough to handle all kinds of situations. At least here on the local streets. If you don't get on highway, which I don't suggest you get on highway because it doesn't go faster than 50. So it's limited to urban riding environment only. Now the previous scooter that I've had, a Piaggio Fly 150, does go to 60 miles per hour and up. So if you need highway capability, definitely get a at least 150cc scooter, because that's gonna make you go faster. But as you can see, the advantage of having a little scooter is I should be able to get over all those crazy traffic. Okay, crazy traffic going to work. But the good thing is, for me personally, I do remote work. Today is one of those days that I need to get out, and which is a perfect chance to also test this scooter. All right. So yeah, in terms of like local riding, the scooter is fantastic, super energy efficient, and super agile. You can see I can get up to speed like rather fast. If I twist the shutter or if I twist the throttle all the way up, I can get to 30 to 40, which is desired riding speed here on the local streets, rather quickly, just within a couple seconds. This scooter, when I bought it, had a few issues. Okay, so and there are apparently pretty common issues that when I was researching about this scooter, it was all shown here, shown in other videos. The first thing is the grip deteriorates rather quick and they start to twist and turn, get slippery. So that might make you think that the scooter is not accelerating properly, but just in fact is just that the throttle is loose. So all you have to do, pull the grips out, use a little glue gun to remove the old glue and clean it up and put the throttle rubber back on there, and it should be sticky again. It shouldn't turn around, which restored the weird feeling in terms of throttle response and acceleration. And as you can see, this thing goes fast. Testing the maximum speed. Again, I'm having my throttle twisted all the way. So against the wind just a little bit, going to 51, and that's probably the maximum it would ever get. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. Maximum speed test is done. Local streets, fantastic. Should you get this or should you get a motorcycle? Now I have plenty of videos comparing those two options because I've had a lot of scooters and motorcycles in the past. And right now, all I have is the Elite 110 and my BMW F800R, which is a naked street bike. Both of those are kind of designed for city. They are really not happy on the highway. This thing is not highway capable. The F800R is highway capable. However, it gets super buzzy once the speed goes above 65 to 70. Super buzzy with that parallel twin engine. But the F800R is going to be a lot more fun. It's going to put smile on your face on the local streets if you just rev it up and enjoy the acceleration. This thing, it won't put smile on your face in terms of acceleration, but it will put smile on your face when you can dodge a crap load of traffic just by going in between the cars, right? And so this is the fun part of scooter riding. I actually rode way more on this scooter compared to my F800R in the last month. I think I put about like 20 miles on F800R the last 1 or 2 months. This thing, within the last 1 or 2 weeks, I've put on 70 miles. I bought this scooter at 1,600 miles. Again, condition of the scooter is rather surprisingly new. It's being laid down once. The brake lever on the right side, you can see it's like kind of damaged a little bit, so there were some scratches on the right side. However, everything else on this scooter is practically new. If you live in a humid environment, there are also some things to be aware of, namely the paint. The scooter has some sort of a cheap paint. So the paint on those actually silver colored area is kind of deteriorated. So If you can keep it in the garage, it's definitely a better option. Okay. If you can't keep it in the garage, I would definitely recommend in any kind of environment, get a real waterproof cover and just cover it up really nicely. It protects it from the rain and as well as UV damage. No, I can't really speak for winter, for areas that, you know, have snow, because I only ride in tropical weather, which for this scooter is all season. I can ride it. So rain cover definitely helps. If you have a garage, fantastic. Back to talking about the issues with this scooter. The second issue I had was this switch. The engine cutoff switch is very funky. If I just press it lightly, right now, if I press it lightly, it would actually kill the engine without turning it off. So what I read is that this switch gets water intrusion rather easily, so try not to touch it. And if you're buying a used scooter of the Elite 110, or I think it's called LAD or Lead 110, check those switch, and if it doesn't start up, most likely it's a switch issue. So you could potentially negotiate a really good price with the seller. Just say, hey, look, the scooter doesn't start up, and would you sell it for cheap? And you go home, you diagnose, most likely it's going to be the switch. You fix it for like $12 on the parts. You have a great, reliable, fun scooter to ride around the town with, right? So that's the second issue. What I also heard is that the highlight beam is going to be the same. The highlight beam sometimes, you know, completely goes blank. Also because the switch loses contact. All easy fixes. Okay. Besides that, I don't really hear a lot of complaint about this scooter at all. It's just a reliable scooter. And it's gonna keep on going forever. In terms of maintenance, when I bought it, I was able to very quickly change all the fluid that I need to change. Okay, so I changed brake fluid, super easy. You remove the top cover with a few screws, and you can break the front brake. The brake fluid hasn't been bled for about 15 years on the scooter, so it was like super nasty. I put in some nice .5 fluid. Immediately it felt a lot more, the brake felt a lot more responsive. So that's gonna be the first thing you're gonna do when you break the bleed. Oh, there's a little groom. Nice. The second thing you're gonna do is definitely engine oil change. Okay, so the engine oil, again, I don't know when is the last time it did a the previous owner did an oil change. It did come out okay. It's not terribly dark, or it doesn't have, you know, any water on it. But definitely anytime you get a new bike, a new scooter, fluid change for sure, because everything before is unknown. So you definitely want to do that. Another thing I did is gear oil change. The CVT belt drive gear, the oil change is also very simple on this scooter. You pretty much remove two screws. First screw is at the bottom, you drain the fluid. Second screw is at the top. You squeeze in some engine oil, the same engine oil you're going to be using for the engine oil change. Okay, you squeeze those in. Once it's filled at the top level, the oil starts to drip out. You close the top screw with the bottom screw closed, and you're done with the gear oil change as well. Those fluid change are easy. One fluid that's slightly more tricky would be the radiator fluid. Even though it's tricky, it's still incredibly simple to do. All you have to do is loosen a couple bolts on the side cover on the right side, okay? Remove the top storage box, which easily exposes the radiator, where you open up the bottom of the drain plug on the radiator to have the fluid start draining. If the fluid doesn't start to drain, you kind of loosen the radiator cap just a little bit to improve the airflow, and then the radiator would start to drain. But the process itself is, again, simple. I've watched some videos before I went and bought this scooter. Just on the maintenance part, they are all incredibly easy to do. Now, one concern I've heard about many people is that since this scooter is only released in US for 1 year, the parts are scarce, which is actually not the case. This scooter parts is still readily available, and the part cost is also very reasonable for this scooter, and you can get the parts from a website called WeBike, which is a Japanese website that sells all Japanese motorcycle scooter related parts. Okay, so it's readily available. Any parts that you need, any maintenance parts you can get for cheap. So really, I have absolutely no worry about not being able to get maintenance parts for this scooter. The maintenance is done for oil change every 2,500 miles. For other fluid that Honda didn't mention on the interval, change every 2 years. Or when you reach certain mileage, like I think 5,000 miles for maybe 10,000 miles. For other fluids, every 2 years. For the engine oil, every 2,500 miles or every 1 year, whichever comes first. Okay. So again, I'm almost at the test site, and I think I've talked enough about this scooter. It's just a joy to ride. I'm riding it without realizing how easy it is to ride. Okay, so yeah, enjoyable. All right. Any other things I want to say? Not really. The dashboard is simple, but it's very effective. The only thing I wish that the scooters got on the dashboard would be a trip meter. However, if I just fill the gas, on the dot. So for this one, I filled the tank at 1650. The fuel efficiency is around 80 to 90. Realistically, miles per gallon. So the gas tank is 1.5 gallons, 1 gallon on the gas tank, 0.5 on the reserve. The F to E is about 1 gallon. So once it hits E, you have about 0.5 gallons of gas left. It's nice that it's got a radiator temperature gauge right here. The temperature never rises above, slightly above quarter of the gauge, which just means it's doing its job and it's cooling very efficiently. And again, here is where we can really appreciate the usability of a scooter in this kind of traffic. Okay, so I can probably get through all kinds of traffic just super easily, like any kind of traffic. If I go slow, I should be able to go over. And just look at that, how easy it is. This is one advantage with a scooter. And also, since you are on a super tiny little bike, nobody's gonna hate you compared to me on my F800R with a loud pipe. People is gonna think, oh, obnoxious, this ass is trying to lane split and show off. But for this one, it's just practically useful, right? So this is really where this scooter shines in terms of usability. Nice. Let's see how easy it is. The benefit of having a scooter is I've got dedicated motorcycle and scooter parking here at this testing center, which is part of the Miami-Dade College. Check this out. Motorcycle parking only. How cool is that? All right, so successfully rode home. The great news from me riding this scooter today is it helped me pass my certification exam. Let's turn it off. Super lightweight, by the way, very easy to maneuver. I think one thing that I forgot to mention in my riding impression when I first took it out is the amount of storage there is on this scooter, which is quite amazing. You can see I have a place for a top box, but in reality, I don't really need that top box. I was able to fit a lot of groceries when I went to the wholesale club, bought the cat food, bought the human food, bought everything, and everything fitted into this large underseat storage. Okay, I'm going to show you guys. All right, so now it holds my backpack, but check out the depth of this entire underseat storage. It's gigantic for a 110cc scooter, right? It fits two open face helmets. It wouldn't fit my full face helmet, but it does give you the lock over here. If your helmet is too big, just hook your D-loop here, close the thing, and it will lock the helmet right there temporarily. If you have full face, if you have open face, if you have half face helmet, yeah, you can fit two in here, maybe three, okay? So this is fantastic. There's also additional storage room in the front. Doesn't fit an iPhone 16, unfortunately. So it's not wide enough, so it wouldn't fit, okay? So other small phones, maybe. So unfortunately, you might need to put your phone on your seat if you want to be. Have a little space to install additional attachments for maybe a cup holder, a phone holder, GPS, whatever. You can only mount it on the mirror. There's no bars here for you to mount it anywhere here. So that's one thing to take note. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this fantastic scooter. Another thing is this nicely designed theft deterrent thing, which is magnetically activated. Unless you have a pairing magnetic key that came with the scooter, if I close this, thief wouldn't be able to actually open this without, there's magnets in here. It lifts a mechanism inside, and then you're able to close it and open it. The logical design of the key I also really like. So couple levels. If you turn it over this way, you can lock the head. You put it here. It's off position. And between off and on is a seat, which is great because usually when you have the scooter in the on position, right? So you're riding or you finish riding, you turn it off. The first level is opening the seat because you usually have stuff in the seat. Once you take the thing out of the seat, you turn it off. Okay, so this is really nicely designed, very thoughtful. Again, what I wished on the dashboard would be a clock and a trip meter. And those are the two things that I wish the dashboard have, but it doesn't. So, but I'm totally, perfectly fine with that. Passenger comfort is fantastic as well. Look at how big the passenger padding is. My wife says this is way more comfortable on this little 110 when she sits over here compared to my F800R, which she says is most uncomfortable. So just keep that in mind. If you need to haul a passenger, it's very comfortable, and it goes up to 48 miles per hour on two passengers weighing less than 250 pounds combined. Okay, fuel injected, super easy to maintain. Every maintenance that you need to do on this scooter is easy. The only thing I couldn't do on this scooter actually is changing the tires, which Again, as I said, I got a flat on the back with a big hole, so I gotta take the tires, I gotta ride the scooter over to my motorcycle shop and have the tires replaced. The trick part about replacing the rear tire is you have to remove the exhaust. So you have to order a new exhaust gasket for the head, for the exhaust header, because once you remove it, the gasket is one-time use. That's the only thing that I can think of that's slightly inconvenient. But every other fluid, as I mentioned, super easy to replace. Battery right in front, just a couple of screws. Everything is standard screws. You can screw it off, do the work yourself. So extremely economical. The engine, 110 engine, fuel injected, very smooth, not buzzy at all at speed. Slightly buzzy at idle, which I'm okay with because for the most part the scooter is running and there's no annoying buzziness on the scooter. Even at full speed, no buzz, super stable. Another cool thing is the combined braking system from Honda, which this lever activates the combined system that brakes the rear. I don't know if you can see, brakes the rear and also squeezes the front brake. So there's a little mechanism over there that combines the front and rear on this lever. Over here is just the front, which I just bled. Nice and responsive. The braking is actually, I would consider it very good for a scooter. Stops on a dime. Doesn't have ABS, but I don't think, for a super light scooter you need ABS anyway. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this video helpful in helping you making a decision on whether you should buy this Honda Elite 110 if you find it in the United States or not. My opinion, I highly recommend this scooter. I think I'm having more fun on this than my previous Piaggio 150 and also my previous Honda Froza 300. The 300 is just way too big for me, which is a small person. This is perfect for the city and for length splitting. Okay, so give me a thumbs up, and I'm gonna go in and take a break, but also subscribe because I'm gonna have more scooter, motorcycle, maintenance, riding related videos coming out. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.